and WB. Today we're going to work on something that I'm really excited for, and that is the L button by default. So I have here an example of advancement, and this is a big pack put together by BlazeandCave. I found them on Planet Minecraft. I'll put a link in the description. But they have some custom advancements, and I followed the wiki page, and I followed their examples, and I followed some other examples that I just looked around, like the ones that come default in Minecraft, and I started this, and I want to work on this for a little bit. So the way that this, here I could go revoke everything, and it will still give me this specific advancement, and I want this to have a toast card, and I want it to show up in chat, and both of those things are things that you can change in the code, but theirs gave me the idea of having it always active, because the normal Minecraft one, you need it used to be taking inventory, but now when you get a workbench in your there we go. Oh, they changed this. So BlazeandCave actually took out the default ones, but normally the first advancement that you get is getting a crafting table in your inventory, and that gives you the first one. So this, I'm gonna have basically one tab for every chapter. I can show you with some of the advancements that I prepared for, and then I'll make some more. And then I have some other stuff planned with the stoop dream chapter. So I'm planning on having a tab for basically every chapter. And so that means I'll have to find things to flesh out on them, and then the town itself will have its own chapter. And so that means you'll have a bunch of stuff to do in there, and it will compound there as the kind of big aggregate advancement tree. But here, the first one, introduction, welcome to the map, that's the same name as this tab, and it's always like that. The root advancement becomes the name of the tab, as well as the icon that it's using. So this is just always active. Its criteria, I'll show you this in a second. Its criteria is location for you to actually go somewhere, but its actual requirements are empty. So it just means go anywhere. So it's basically always active. So I can't take credit for this idea. They started it, and I've just kind of copying them. But then these are basically the three ideas that I had as in the introduction, where you're in the spawn area and turning on the death counter, picking up the introduction book, and picking up the rule book, which I can test for with NBT tags, I'm pretty sure. And then I have another one, root. This one grants you the first advancement in chapter 0, which is sand shocker, and I actually have the rest of these as not visible. I thought I changed the first one actually, but in sand shocker, then chapter 2, the first one is adventure is out there, and it gives you the advancement. I'm gonna have this as a custom advancement that is given to you by commands when you step on the pressure plate and you go into the actual waking up in the tent and starting chapter 0. And then you see this one is called creek, because that's when you open the door. And then the one after this I made hidden. It doesn't show up like that one did before, and so it doesn't give spoilers, and I'm probably going to hide most of them after this point, the main ones, because you should be able to get the clues that you want from the actual map itself. But if I need extra hints that are completely optional, then I'll put them in as a completely visible advancement once you kind of reach that point. And so then this is the next one when you reach the Guardian. So this is all that I worked on so far, but I'll get done a little bit more and I'll show you what's going on, and then we can start on the stoop world. Alright, check this out. So I added a couple more and I imported them into the map, and so I'm starting to integrate them. It's really cool. So I'm not entirely sure how the ordering gets determined, because right here in this space is actually a hidden advancement, and I don't know how to move it, because I don't want it showing up like this, even though at the end of the day I'm probably fine with it. if I were to choose at first glance, I would put it up at the top so you wouldn't get interrupted by it. But here you can see I added competition, turn on death counter. Actually, I think that was in there before. And switch difficulty, because that's the 4 things that are here. And I integrated the picking up the books into the actual advancements. So if I do this, then it will give me back the introduction one, because again, that one works at any location you are at, and so that one will always be on. But then if you pick up this, that's not supposed to happen. Anyway, then if you turn on the death counter, which is currently off, but it will default to off when you load the map, then that gives you the advancement. If you change the difficulty, oh, I never added that in there, but it gives you also a custom one. And again, I'm going to integrate the difficulty in there. If it's at a hard difficulty versus an easy difficulty, I am going to change how the things are arranged, the chambers and stuff. I haven't really determined how, but that is my plan. And so this button is useful. And before recording, I actually set the number of players to 7. It's 1 less than the maximum, and so that is how this will get activated. When I step on this pressure plate, it will open up the chapter 0 tab, and so it'll show up here, and it will also give me this challenge, which is to have all of the maximum amount of players. Yes. And so it actually gives you a little bit of experience as a reward. And maybe I could do something like use a function to give every player something like a stone sword, so that they have something to start out with immediately, because that's pretty cool, having every single available slot filled. So I don't think I'll put anything on the second row, because this is just the introduction tab. But chapter 0 is going to have things that flesh out sideways. And I thought I went through and made this not give the toast in the chat announcement, but maybe I didn't. And then I'm going to have when the player, any player, when they enter the temple area, it's going to give them an advancement, and just basically give them rewards that don't necessarily amount to anything. It won't change the gameplay, but it's just so fun to see that, oh, I made it somewhere. It's important. I'm doing this right. It's the little rewards that help the players on their way. But I'm having so much fun with this. So I restarted it after I've added some stuff. Got these working individually. Change the difficulty. Turn off the death counter. And I'm going to leave the challenge undone. This is just without it. Adventures out there. Oh, so that's supposed to be hidden. So you're supposed to go to the door as part of the quest, but in order to open the door, you really do need to go to the Electro Temple, and I still think that those deserve their own branches though. So if I go to the door over here, I have a key, and that's what you get over there, and that's what this actually alludes to, that the room with the crystal on top is the room where you get the key. Then this opens up and says creek. Then you fly over here, and when you enter this region, gives you another one, and it opens up this. Previously you couldn't see this one. And when you bring him the dust, then it activates the transition after giving the players enough time to read this, because I don't want to just interrupt them so they can't get the story. I am currently player 0, that is correct. It's swapping my inventory to another empty inventory, that's why I cleared it. This is the player 0 location, gives a little bit of time, and then you hear a muffled voice. That activates that. And in the town tab, it's a brick. And you have two splitting tabs, splitting trees, one to deliver the cookies, one to go to the fishing shack and get a fish because your mother gives you some payment for it. And after going over there and getting the fish, this advancement is granted, and she gives you a little bit of lore, which I haven't built in yet, and tells you some stuff has been going on in the town, but that you can go play outside, but like take care of yourself, and that she knows one of your favorite places is this area. And when you come over here, I hope you'll notice all these vines and go into this place. Maybe I should go back to where the idea of the player notices something over there, or maybe I should make it go on in here. I haven't quite figured that out. Then you get this advancement, and it does not unlock the next one, which is actually right here. It's a hidden one again, but that's when she tells you to go in here, at which point you should be able to follow the lights like I showed before in through these caverns. And when you come up here and he notices you, then it activates the last one. Inventory swap, still player 0. See that on the sidebar. Oh, did I have anything in my inventory? And that's basically how far that I've gotten so far. And oh, I am so excited to keep working on this. Advancements are just really cool. I love these so much. I cannot express that. This idea of achievements and just getting little tiny rewards, but all the time, is so fun. But right now I need to go work on the next stream, the place that it's supposed to teleport you. And I'm gonna go make some clouds and probably start with the little town and select the crash site, and we'll go from there. The whole area is imported and accessible. But now I get to add one of these. Boom. I haven't done this in a while. Woo! Set up a little platform, landing pad. So again, the town's gonna go here. Landing pad, I think I do want to put it over here. The crash site, I mean. So maybe I could put it partway up the mountain. This actually looks like a cool little divot. Maybe I can do a skid mark. But if I am going to put in the Easter egg where you don't have to crash land, then maybe actually I could put it where you do always end up crash landing, but you sometimes, if you put in the right combination of controls and stuff, then you get a emergency supplies box that you found survive the crash because you were good enough at crash landing. That would kind of fix that problem. I could start building the ship, and I'm thinking of a spaceship, but I don't know if an airplane would make more sense. And I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to make sense. This is based on just random things in a dream and such. But this house, I can start laying that out, so maybe that's what I'll start doing. I'm going to save the clouds for later. I do want to have some clouds floating in the sky, some custom clouds. But I'll start on this this town kind of foundation and the crash site. Alright, quick update on the ship. I decided to just build it all. There's a copy over there before I just completely mirrored both sides. So let me know what you think. it has a lot of angles, but overall I'm pretty happy with shape. It will actually land. The bottom is flat, and you will be able to walk up this back portion, but normally you're expected, I want these to feel kind of like doors, and they're actually off the ground a little bit. This is kind of where you would stand, but inside, which is really most of the players' experience with this, they're gonna pop up in these locations, maybe one in the hallway, and Mayday status, where this ship is going down, and I think the last thing I might do after kind of carving out a little bit of that mountainside is make a command block machine that will give them jitters, so it will kind of look like the ship is shuddering, because they won't be moving their mouse, but it'll just give little bounces. So I might try that, but overall I'm pretty happy with this. Ooh, this could use a button. So I'm gonna wreck this into the mountainside. I'm gonna cut and paste some of the pieces, and just like the ship has come crashing down from the atmosphere and maybe even bounced off here, but going at this direction right along the beach and up this hill, and it kind of got lodged right here. Maybe even a little bit farther up. But I'm pretty happy with this, so let's get started with this. Alright, not gonna lie, but that looks pretty bad in the sense of a crash. I copied over in empty edit pieces of this and reoriented them and copied sections of them and dropped it, so it was laying on a hill, and then I just went through and punched a bunch of stuff. And if the players want to, they can come back here and there will be mess everywhere, but let's break the windows. Break all the things. But it's not designed to hold anything valuable after a while. And here's the other engine, also leaking lava. Looks pretty beat up, but I'm gonna actually leave this for now. There's a bunch of touch-ups that I want to do. I want to put fire all over the place, maybe some netherrack and stuff like that, but I need to move on to this other mechanic, which is actually something I've done before, so it should be fast, and I'm running out of time. This is a machine that I made a little while ago. The premise of the machine was that when lightning struck near you, it would make your view go up and down really fast within one tick, and so it would give you this little startle whenever I set up lightning near it. And so I modified this a little bit so it would have 3, and it doesn't actually return you to where your reticle was starting. So I will probably hook this up to some sort of randomizer, so it'll just give some pretty consistent yet random earthquake feeling. So this is what it has currently. So you can imagine that it moving around like this is a little bit of a problem if you're trying to use some controls and you're falling toward the earth. There it is. And so right now it's just at a consistent level because I'm out of time and I have to end the episode now. But this is kind of what I'm planning. So if you have any other suggestions, anything to add to the ship, anything to add to the ground or to the island or to any of the things you saw in this episode, leave them in the comments. And I thank you for watching. Take care.